What's up, everyone? All right, so here we are. This is the second red day recap for the month of July, which, I've got my calendar right here. That's a little disappointing. Never like to have a red day. Don't come into the market expecting to lose money. But today, we just did not have a lot of momentum. I'm red on 4 out of the 5 stocks I traded. And, I wish I'd taken the cue after I was only up $120 on the day just to walk away at 10 a.m., but I kept trading and I just had that final trade that was a good $3,500 loser or whatever it was, and boom, that was it. So, we'll break it down in the recap. It's one of those things where a couple steps forward, a couple steps back. I feel good that even when I hit that $3,600 loser, that I didn't keep trading. I was just sort of like, you know what? That's it. I'm done. No reason to hit my max loss today of $5,000. I'll just walk away and come back tomorrow. My best chance at having a big winner is tomorrow morning. I knew it wouldn't be today just because there was just not a lot of momentum in the market. So, it's important to trade the market you're in, not the market you want to be in. Today, I wanted to be in a hot market. I traded the size of a hot market. I was aggressive like it was a hot market, but it wasn't a hot market, and so I lost money. So it is what it is. We'll break it all down in today's midday market recap. What's up, everyone? All right, so midday recap today is going to be a red day recap. It's the second red day for me of the month, but you know what? It's not that bad, relatively speaking, because I've been doing a pretty good job keeping my max loss, or keeping my losses tight, so I'm not actually hitting my daily max loss. My daily max loss is $5,000, which I know is a beginner trader probably seems crazy, but for me, that's really not even, it's not a good day, but it's not that bad of a day. Yesterday I made $5,000. The day before I made almost $9,000. So, having a $5,000 max loss is basically just giving back one day, maybe 2 days of profit. And so I can make it back quickly. What's important is having that max loss. Now, today, 1 p.m. Eastern, we're hosting our free workshop. This is an encore to the workshop that we hosted last month. We had an awesome turnout, and we had so many people register and so many people attend that we ended up blowing out one of the servers at the place where we were hosting the webinar. So today we're hosting our encore. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're limiting the seats, so we make sure that everyone gets in. So I want you guys to register. You guys watching on Facebook Live, click in the description below, register. This workshop's going to be a lot of fun. Those of you who are watching later this afternoon on YouTube, you're going to have missed the workshop today at 1 p.m., but you can register for the next one. And I gave you guys heads up by telling you yesterday and the day before that we were hosting it. So if you're just watching this video for the first time on YouTube, then stay tuned. We will have another workshop soon. All right, so that's coming up at 1 p.m. Eastern. And one of the things I'm going to talk about is the importance of having a max loss. It's how you minimize your drawdown. There's no such thing as an equity curve that just goes straight up. Every single equity curve goes up and down, up and down, up and down. You want to be able to minimize the down. You don't want to go up and then all the way down, up and then all the way down, and be going lower. You want to be generally just continuing to go up. So for me, I put the max loss at $5,000, and losing $3,600 today is within range. It's not by any means the worst day ever. It's just not, it's a red day, and it's kind of just nothing else to say about it beyond that. It's not, really a big deal. So, all right, let's put up screen share here so you guys can see what I'm watching. All right, so, all right, I'm just going to drag up my trading window so you guys can see the P&L. So finishing the day down $3,649, second red day of the month. And, for sure it's disappointing. Being red on 4 out of 5 names is not fun. I don't come into the market every day intending to lose money. I come in intending to make money, but the reality is some days you lose. So as of today, I'm going to be up right around, let's see, about $12,000 on the week. And if you had a job where you made $12,000 a week consistently, every single week, you'd be feeling really good. But the way it goes with trading is that you'll have a week where you make 12,000, but you actually made 20,000 and lost 8,000, and you're up net 12,000. So it's like you feel like, well, 12,000 is good, but it sure would have been better if I hadn't lost that $8,000. And so you always feel like, geez, if I could have been a little bit better, if I could have maybe minimized that loss or not taken that last trade, I might have been in better shape today. And so this is a day where I'm a little disappointed in myself for being as aggressive as I was on staff, because it was not really a good day to be aggressive. Before I even took that trade, I was actually only up $135 today. Like I wasn't up that much. And so the very first trade of the day, well, let's just start at the beginning. So every single day starts the same way. We go over the gap scanners. All right, so let's pull the gap scanners up here. Time frame, historical date. So 9:09 this morning is fine. So these were our leading gappers. These three were the ones that we were watching the most closely: CNTF, IZEA, and NDRA. You'll see that I actually didn't trade any of them because none of them really were that great once the bell rang. CNTF, the bell rang and this thing just sold off. It's been weak. All right. IZEA, the bell rang, it popped up a little bit, but it didn't hold that level and it came back down. So that one's no good. And then NDRA, the bell rang, it popped up for like a fraction of a second and it's just sold off from there. So it's just been weak. So the first stock that I traded was not off the gap scanner, but was off the high-a-day momentum scanner. So very first stock, we're watching the scans, and we see so we see CNTF, but I wasn't interested in that one, so I'm still just watching the scans, and we see staff. All right, so someone mentioned in the room, they said, hey, take a look at staff. It's starting to pop up. And I looked at it, and I was like, all right, I see what's going on there. So when we saw staff, it was popping from about $3 up to $3.25, and I jumped in it at $3.24 and then added at $3.30 as it was squeezing up. I ended up selling half of it at $3.26 for basically a loss, more at $3.27, the rest at $3.28, and so on that first trade, I actually lost $9. Okay, so I made $9. It was basically a break-even trade. It hit a high of 41, but it didn't hold up and it came back down. So that one didn't really work out. Now I got back in staff. Remember, I mark high a day. High a day is 41. So I had high a day on watch. It's going sideways and then it curls up right here. So I got back in this a little bit later with 10,000 shares at 36, 40, and 40. And I sold it at 50 and 53. I tried to add at 50, but my order got rejected because I had not lifted my max share size from 10,000 shares. So my order got rejected at 250 or 350, and so I ended up selling at 50, 53, and the rest at 45. So on that one, I made about $900, which was a good trade. That was actually the best trade of the day, and it was a breakthrough high of day right here. It then sells off, pulls back, and is consolidating. And I got back in it right here as it started to curl back up, right in this area. So I jumped back in at, let's see, let's go back. I got back in, let me go down here, at 338. And I added at 347. And then I added at 349 and 355. So on this one, I overrode my max share size of 10,000 shares and I went up to 15,000. Adding at 55 because I was looking for it to break over the high a day and do kind of what it did here, break high a day and squeeze up another 10 cents. So I was adding here for the break of 60, expecting it to go up to 70, maybe 75 or 80, maybe $4. And what ended up happening is on this next candle, it dropped all the way back down to 29. And then it went sideways for a second, and then it dropped all the way down to 313. And so I stopped out with 15,000 shares at 328 and 321. And so there I lost about $3,000 and went from being up 900 on the stock to down 2,300 bucks. And it's kind of annoying because I could have sold the whole thing at 55, but I added at 55, right? So I could have taken profit, but instead I added, and then I stopped out and gave back the profit I had, and it turned into a loss. So this is a little frustrating because, I could have walked away green on the day if I hadn't been as aggressive. However, the thing is, you never really know for sure. I mean, I guess my accuracy is about 70%. And I can say that over the course of years and years of trading, that my accuracy is between 68 and 70%. And I'll just show you here where I base that number on. So this is like 2 years of trading records. And you can see the accuracy right here is 70%. That's over the course of 2,426 trades. So I've got a lot of historical data here that helps back up these numbers. It's $1 million in gross profit, just about. All right, so I'm right about 70% of the time. Now, this is one where I got a little aggressive and it just, it didn't really pay off. But what's interesting is that earlier this week on MTSL, I kind of did the same thing. This one, all of a sudden, it dropped down, and then as it surged up through the highs, I got aggressive on it, and we got that squeeze all the way up to, whatever it was, $3.20, and I made $8,000. And on that one, I had 20,000 shares. So, stepping up to the plate and taking big size, when it works, it works. And when it doesn't work, you lose $3,000. And that's kind of what happened today. So the upside potential when it works is $5, $8, $10, maybe even $15,000 of profit. And the downside when it doesn't work, can be anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000 depending on your share size. So I feel like, on MTSL, I was not up that much on the day before that trade. Let's see, I can actually tell you, where was I? I was up, okay, well, I guess I was up 1,900 bucks before that trade. So I was in pretty good shape. Today, so maybe that gave me a little more confidence to be aggressive. But yeah, on staff, I really wasn't up on the day. So taking that trade, it was a little higher risk, but I don't know, it looked good to me. First daily candle to make a new high was over 360, but we hit that level and couldn't break it. So anyways, on this one, this is just part of the 30% of the time, whatever, that I'm wrong. It's not necessarily that I did anything wrong. It just, for whatever reason today, that setup on that stock didn't work. So staff ended up being a loser. And then the other trades, CCIH popped up. This is a Chinese stock. It kind of all of a sudden goes from $1.25 to $1.65. I made 220 bucks on it. Kind of a small winner. YTEN, it hits the scans, it pops up, doesn't hold up, sells off, lost 200 bucks. JAGX, I don't like this stock at all, but it was starting to take off, so I was like, all right, I'll give it a chance. I got in for the 1 minute micro pullback right here, but I got filled at 86, and then it dropped down. So this is an example of where a bad fill can kind of hurt you. Because if I got filled at 80, the right spot, that actually could have been a winner. So kind of a bad fill there, lost 500 bucks. ABIL, this one, it pops up. I jumped in for the break of $8. I was in at $7.95. It hits a high of $8.24, and then it drops all the way down to $7.50. So it's a 75-cent drop. It pops back up right here. I sold some kind of break even, and then I stopped out the rest as it came back down. So lost 800 on that one. So you can kind of see today's a day where we just didn't really have strong momentum. Some days everything is strong. Every stock that hits the scanner takes off. It's winner after winner after winner. Today wasn't that kind of day. Today was a day where nothing was really working, and for that reason alone, I should have been more careful on staff. I think what I was sort of thinking was that in the past few days, things have been a little choppy in the morning, and then all of a sudden one stock takes off and makes this big move. And so I thought, well, maybe that will be staff, since it has this kind of daily setup, and the volume seems to be coming in, so maybe it's worth a try. But, you know, on that one, I was just wrong. So anyways, there's this one, ALQA, hits the scanners. It pops up and sells off. I don't know where, you know, this one came from. I was watching it over the high a day, didn't break that level, so no trades. IZEA, didn't trust it. A couple other stocks on the scans, but really, I mean, this is kind of unusual that this is our entire scan for the day. I mean, this is not a lot of stocks on there, right? We're talking about 2 hours of trading, and there's really only a small handful. So that just goes to show that today we didn't have a lot of momentum. So, you know, that's the way it goes. Some days are hot and some days are a little cold. I'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning, and, you know, making back $3,600 is not hard. That's one good trade. You know, so that's the important thing with knowing when to walk away. Today's not a day where, to me, it's worth continuing to trade to try to dig myself out of the hole, because we're just not seeing good momentum. I'm much better off walking away today and coming back tomorrow refreshed, and hopefully tomorrow we see better opportunities. All right, so that's about it for me. Brings down my profit on the month a little bit from being up, let's see, around 27,000 on the month to being up maybe closer to 22,000 or 24,000, whatever it is. But that's okay. You know, it's a couple steps forward, small step back, couple more steps forward, small step back. That's what it looks like to grow an account. It's not straight up. It's always, you know, a little bit up, a little bit down. You look at the overall market, it's the same way. It's anything you look at. This is how it goes. You know, it's up, everyone gets excited, the exuberance, a little bit of fear, you pull back, back up, back down, up, down, up, down. You know, it's just the way it goes. So right now, kind of a little bit of a red day, but nothing off the charts, nothing to get bent out of shape about. I'll make it back, and you know, I'll just keep grinding, keep working. I've still got that big goal in my mind, the $1 million mark, and I'm at about whatever, $674,000. So 326,000 to go. I've got the countdown up. I see it every day, and you know, I've got my sights set. It's just got to stay focused. You kind of think of this as this is a marathon. This has been a year and a half right now in the making, and it's going to be 2 years before I cross the $1 million mark. So it's a 2-year long marathon, and you know, within the marathon, there have been some periods where, you know, trading is really hot and I've had some really great success. And then there's been moments where it's been really hard and it's been really frustrating. But, you know, these are all just, you know, kind of the ups and the downs that come with being on this type of journey. So the big picture is that it's still really good. I'm 67% of the way there, and I'm looking forward to crossing the 70% line, right? That's kind of, you know, what it's at. Yeah, it's, you know, the Tour de France. I mean, some of the climbs, sometimes you're on a mountain climb and it's really, really hard. And then another day you're on the flats and it feels good and you've got the wind at your back. And, you know, these are all the things, you know, that traders do deal with. Even if you're not right now on a conscientious $500 to $1 million challenge, you're on your own challenge, whatever it is, right? You know, whether it's to make 1,000 a week or 1,000 a day, and so you'll have days where it comes and it's just easy, and other days where it feels like a little bit more of a struggle. But, anyways, you know, feeling good here today, even though it's a red day. It's been a great week. $12,000 is fantastic, and most likely tomorrow I'll take a little money out of the account because I don't need to be sitting at $100,000 in equity. I can drop it back down to 80 and then, you know, make another 20, drop it back down to 80, make another 20. And then that way, pretty much every 2 weeks, I'm paying myself $20,000. I mean, I could do it every week, but this is just kind of the routine that I'm in. And, it seems to be working. So anyways, that's about it for me here this morning. And again, those of you that are going to be in our workshop, 1 p.m. Eastern, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we've got about an hour and a half until that. Those that miss it, we'll have another one before too long, I'm sure, so you can stay tuned for the next one. And I will see you guys all back here first thing tomorrow morning, 9:15. Try to finish up the week strong. All right, I'll see you guys in the morning. If you're still watching, you must have really enjoyed that video. So why not subscribe and get email alerts anytime I upload new content? Remember, when you subscribe, you become a member of the Warrior Trading family.